What's up, guys? So have this big pin oak still up on here, and after the last video I was doing some looking and I did notice a few bolts on the trolley itself were loose. So this is probably important, but whenever I installed the rails and the trolley and everything, I just used hand tools with hand pressure. And the nuts have those little teeth on them. They're supposed to be non-slip, and only a few of them really slipped when I was tightening them. So I really only had to tighten from one side, and I thought I put them on pretty tight. And any bolts I didn't have to tighten, I just kind of checked, to see how tight it was with my hands. If it was loose, I would tighten it up. If it didn't seem loose, I would let it go. So I probably need to get a little impact wrench and just hit all these and just really get those teeth to set into that metal so it gets a good grip and it won't, back out with the vibrations. So I wouldn't suggest actually putting it together with hand tools unless you can really get some good cranking on it. I think an impact wrench would be best. So I just want to say that there's still some vibration. So I do want to put those bolts in it, but the vibration is a little bit better than it was before. So I got this oak slab on here. I'm going to cut a 3 1/4 inch slab. This thing's 20 feet long. It's running pretty good. I do notice one thing, this new bearing I put on it, it lets me know that it's running because it is loud. Whenever you just let off of it, you can really hear it winding down and spinning in there. So it's going at some high RPMs. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this up, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut a 3 1/4 slab, 20 feet long. So this is a pretty good test on it. So if it can cut through this, I feel pretty confident with anything. The hardest part for me is just getting these big logs up here and spinning them around and maneuvering them because they're so heavy, but it's running really good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start this up and show you guys how it's running now. All right, so you could probably hear that bearing and just it spin. It didn't sound as bad as it was before. I tried to set that guide back a little bit, but it seems like that it naturally wants to push back against that no matter how far you back. You don't want to set it too far back because then you have to worry about it, you know, not producing a good cut or going off to the pulley. See if I can push this off here. So this pin oak's pretty wet. I don't know the exact moisture, but it's probably, the last one I was doing was like 60% moisture, so they're pretty wet. It's been raining a lot here, and they've just been raining on my stack, and it really hasn't had a chance to dry, so. But this is a good test. This is 3 1/4 inches thick. It's pretty wide. I don't know the exact width. I can check real quick. And it's on the bottom, it's close to like 18 inches. And it's probably about that same consistency, I'd say. Yeah, around 18 inches all the way across, 3 1/4 inches deep. And you can hear every once in a while, it sounds like maybe the pulley wants to slip, like you hear a little squeal. And I know it's probably because I'm going a little too fast. Honestly, this new blade, this is the 5th cut with it, and I'm pretty sure I even hit a rock on accident because I seen a rock right on top of where I was cutting, so it probably at least nicked it. So it's still running great. Like it's not like you can feel when you're pushing the blade against the wood and it's not cutting, the blade's cutting. It's just when you push too hard, it'll either vibrate or you'll get some slippage on the pulley. It'd be interesting to see what different pulleys do with it. And also a thing to remember is in my beginning experience, I did slip on that pulley a lot, and that probably caused a little wear on that pulley, making it a little thinner. So it may not be getting quite as good as grip as it could be getting. So I'm gonna probably replace the pulley just to see. But I mean, it's not running bad now. The vibration does seem less. I don't know if you could see it in the video, but I still feel like it could be improved. Or maybe I just need to slow down. So, but one thing to watch out for is to make sure the bolts don't get loose. I notice a lot of my bolts, even on the rails, I'll see a nut laying on the ground like I do right now. And I will have to go looking around to see where it fell off of because it fell off. And I'm not just loosely putting these on there, but it seems like those teeth don't want to bite. And it's probably because I didn't use an impact wrench to really, when you use an impact wrench, it really makes them teeth on the bottom of that nut bite better. So I would definitely suggest borrowing or getting a cheap impact wrench or something to put it together with, because it'll help. Because I don't know if I can hand tighten them much more than what I am. It just seems like they loosen up a little bit. Seems like certain ones are more than others, but I'd say on the carriage of the bolts, about 40% of them I needed to tighten at least a little bit when I checked it right before I made this cut. So apparently they do loosen up, so you got to keep an eye out for it. All right, guys. Well, I might put out another video cutting, but I think this is if I cut a different species or something of wood, because I'm sure if I cut ash, I might make a video of that, because I think it's going to zip through ash a lot easier than this old wet pin oak with knots in it. But I'll make a video when I cut some ash up just to show you it. I do have some bigger diameter ones. I'll probably save a nice big diameter cut on an ash log sometime after I get done with this oak. And I also got a kiln I've been messing around with. I'll probably post another video about my kiln before too long. I've been experimenting with it. Once I get all my beams in there, I want to make sure I can go ahead and get them dried. All right, guys, have a good day. Talk to you later.